My name is Melissa, and I'm going to share with you my personal testimony of how I ended up giving my life to Christ. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. My parents are divorced. My father is an alcoholic, and my mom ended up leaving him with me and my sister when we were really young. And years later, married my stepdad. And this was all during elementary school, and I had a huge problem with bullying. I was made fun of. I was physically beaten up, slapped across the face a couple times, and just memories that that's really hard for me to discuss. And once I got into middle school, things were better, much better. I found a group of friends, and we had a lot of the same interests. We weren't concerned with a lot of things. But once middle school ended, I ended up losing those friends because they went to different schools. And so I started to get into some stuff that weren't all that healthy for me. I clicked with a group of friends that just seemed to have the same interests as me, and later found out that they weren't friends at all, and our whole entire relationship was built on media. In this case, actually, romance novels, loaded with lust and lust and lust and lust. And I developed a pornography addiction to both the web and to these books, and I shut myself off from society because of these books. And these friends were all gung-ho about it when they really shouldn't have been. And my sophomore year, I had skipped lunch for a whole semester on a personal project, and when I came back, they were really ecstatic, and they were like, "Wow, you're back, we're really glad." But the next day, they forgot about me, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, before I realized that they weren't friends at all. So I fell into a mild depression, and I indulged myself into more of these. It was my little happy place. Nobody could hurt me, but in the end I was only hurting myself. And I was friendless. I didn't know where to turn to. And I heard about this church that everybody from my school seems to be going to. And I checked it out. And during all of this, I'm still looking for friends, but I also found out that relationships online could ease my pain a little bit more. And so I was in this relationship with a guy overseas for nearly 3 years, and it was built on nothing more than lust, dirty jokes, some really raunchy stuff. And I was willing to give myself to him, my precious gift that the Lord gave me, my virginity. And when I came to this church, I kind of started having bad feelings about that. I don't know if I should do this. I don't know what to do. And so the youth pastor had this sermon, and at this time I wasn't a Christian. I was just going there for friends, but I was learning. And he had this sermon about who's your God. Is it a relationship? Is it money? Is it materialism? Is it food? It doesn't matter. What are you holding tight in your hands? Are you holding God in your hands, or worldly possessions and worldly things? And I realized then that I had to get this relationship up. And it was the hardest thing I had ever done, in days after days. I was just crying because I didn't want to give this up, because if I gave this guy up, then I'd be abandoned again, and I didn't want to be. And so one night, I opened up my Bible for the first time. And to me, it had always been thee, thou, this, that, rules, rules, rules. You know, you're condemned to hell. And, you know, I just opened it up to the middle, which is conveniently Psalms. And I poured my heart out to God. I was like, I don't know if you're there, please. I'm sick of always feeling so alone. Please, just give me some type of answer. A number, I don't care. Please, Lord, listen to me. I'm here. And he was listening. And he gave me two numbers. Two numbers that I will never forget in my entire life. 34 and 18. Psalm 34:18 reads, "The Lord is with the brokenhearted, those who are crushed in spirit." And to someone who has never opened up a Bible and who has never really, you know, that's pretty amazing to get that passage out of 1,000 pages and 1,000,000,000 passages. And I knew that God was there, and I didn't have to do this anymore, and that I'm not alone. And that feeling of never being alone is the most precious thing I've ever been given from the Lord. And just things started snowballing from there. I was like, okay, if you're there, I want to follow you. You know, let me learn how to love you, Lord. And I got baptized not too long after that, about 2 weeks. And occasionally I feel lonely, but you know, God's always there saying, wait a minute, I'm right here, I'm right here. And that's pretty much it. So you're not alone, okay? For those that are watching this, you're not alone. I promise you. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope this helps you. Bye, and God bless.